The road to personal and spiritual growth is not always visible to the naked eye. It passes through the unseen realms of consciousness. It wanders across the ordinary conscious, the subconscious, the unconscious, and the superconscious. But here are the questions. How do you explore these hidden inner landscapes? What tool can help you see the unseen? And how do you look inside yourself and uncover the parts of you that even you don't know exist? One powerful answer is the Johari Window. It's a remarkable psychological and spiritual model that acts like a magic mirror for your soul. By learning to look through the Johari Window, you begin to reveal the hidden forces shaping your thoughts, emotions, and will. This tool can help you become more self-aware, engage in uncovering repressed parts of your mind, transform, and transcend. And in this video, we'll take you beyond theory. By the end, you'll see how the Johari Window, the four states of consciousness, and your soul-spirit connection are all woven together in one transformative big picture. Don't miss this. It's the key to understanding yourself on the deepest level. Make sure to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss future deep dives into self-awareness, spiritual transformation, and consciousness expansion. And as you watch, share in the comments which quadrant of the Johari Window do you relate to most right now. Before we begin, let's take a sneak peek at how consciousness connects to your total true self, that is your soul and your spirit. For deeper background on the elements of yourself, be sure to watch my other video, Plato's Soul Meets the Spirit's Wizard of Oz. There's a link at the end of the video. Now imagine you're climbing a mountain almost like in a video game quest. This mountain is symbolized by the ancient pyramid, an archetypal image of wisdom, mystery, and ascension. There are 4 levels of challenges. Each level represents a different state of consciousness. As you ascend higher on this mountain of awareness, the challenges become harder, but so does your potential for self-discovery, personal growth, and spiritual transformation. Notice the shift in the pyramid's texture between level 1 and level 2. This marks a powerful life transition from the physical earthly realm of the body and senses to the spiritual heavenly dimension of the soul and spirit. It symbolizes moving from blurred perception and limited awareness to spiritual clarity, expanded vision, and higher consciousness. And here's the inspiring truth. Reaching the top of the mountain is possible in this lifetime. In other words, if life was a game, you can win, not by defeating others, but by conquering your inner obstacles and awakening to your highest self. Developed in 1955 by psychologists Joseph Luft and Harrington Ingram, the Johari Window is simple yet profound. It's a 2x2 matrix of interpersonal awareness and self-perception. The name is the combination of the first names of its creators, Joe and Harry, Johari. While often used in psychology and communication training, its value in spiritual growth is just as powerful. Think of it as a window to your soul. It has 4 panes that reveal what is known and unknown to you and to others. By exploring each section, you can uncover blind spots, reveal hidden truths, access the mystery of your unconscious mind, and move toward spiritual awakening. The Johari Window divides your self-consciousness into 4 quadrants to show who knows what. Each of these quadrants represents a unique psychological space and an energetic doorway into different levels of consciousness. The heading across the top of the window identifies panes 1 and 3 as containing information that you know about yourself. Panes 2 and 4 have information you don't know. In contrast, what others know or don't know about you is indicated to the left of the window. Quadrants 1 and 2 are things others know about you, and 3 and 4 contain unknown personal information. Luft and Ingram labeled pane 1 as being open. That means both you and others are aware of what you do and why you're doing it. The second section is known as your blind spot. That's because you cannot see. You are blind to what you're doing or saying, but others are very aware of your actions and your words. Pane 3 in the Johari window gets more complicated. This is the hidden quadrant. Here you have information, but you don't want others to know about it, so you try to keep it hidden. The fourth quadrant is the unknown area. There is a lot of mystery surrounding this because neither you nor others easily have access to this information. Nevertheless, you will be greatly rewarded when you explore this space. As experienced in life, the quadrants in the Johari window do not remain of equal size. As your self-awareness and self-knowledge grows or shrinks in each section, your perception of what you see in yourself and what others see, it changes. In the first quadrant, the open area of the Johari window is what you know about yourself and that others also see. In new or unexplored relationships, this is often small. That means there is limited authentic interaction. Examples of this type of relationship are a new coworker or perhaps the person who checks you out at the store every week. As trust and self-awareness grow, this quadrant expands, leading to better communication, healthier relationships, and more authentic, conscious living. Examples of this type relationship are a person you have worked closely with for years, or when you are in a long-term personal relationship. In the second pane, you are blind about information about yourself. You're unaware that what you're saying or doing is sending hidden messages to others, or you may be unaware of why you do what you do. In this area, your inner thoughts and feelings are unwillingly exposed to others, and you don't see it. Examples include Freudian slips, hidden biases, unrecognized habits, and repressed thoughts and feelings. Also, depression feeds on your lack of clarity and self-awareness of things in your past. This blind spot is large when you have low self-awareness of who you truly are. Reducing this blind area is key for psychological growth. It usually involves spiritual awakening and bringing your repressed memories into the open light. The third area of the Johari window contains hidden areas of yourself that you intentionally hide from others behind your door of privacy. This is where you conceal thoughts, feelings, or vulnerabilities from others. If these things become known, it could cause you embarrassment, humiliation, or even shame. As anxiety grows, it may drive you to trying to control the future just so you can keep these things secret. It can also make you vulnerable to fear of being rejected or manipulated by others. However, with inner work, these hidden areas shrink when you start accepting yourself and others. Exploring this area leads to deeper relationships and a more awakened consciousness. The fourth quadrant of the great unknown is the most mysterious. These are aspects of yourself that neither you nor others are aware of. Luft describes this most secretive section as an area of unknown activity. Neither the individual nor others are aware of certain behaviors or motives, yet we can assume their existence because eventually some of these things become known, and it is then realized that these unknown behaviors and motives were influencing relationships all along. Luft also says there is universal curiosity about unknown areas, but this is held in check by custom, social training, and fears. This space holds your untapped potential, spiritual mysteries, and deep psychological truths. Exploring it can unleash profound spiritual transformation and deep mystical insight. When this area is larger, you may feel stuck, unhappy, and dissatisfied with life. However, this area shrinks as you progress and grow along the hero's journey and as you bring to light the best parts of yourself. These are the four quadrants of the Johari Window, about how information about you is known to yourself and others, and how it affects your self-awareness. Now it's time to take the next step and explore the interconnectedness of information in the Johari Window and your consciousness. Consciousness is defined as a state of awareness. This symbol for consciousness is inspired by the philosopher's stone. It is also known as the magnum opus, which means great work. This alchemical process is popularly known for how to turn lead into gold. In this context, it refers to how to turn lead mortal humans into golden immortal beings. For more information on this subject, see the video, Mortal to Immortal, Your Spiritual Journey. The link is at the end of this video. Using the Johari Window to understand the four states of consciousness is like using a crystal ball to gaze into your highest self. To say it another way, you're using known objects in the physical world to reflect things as they exist in the spirit world. This method is discussed more fully in the companion video, Spiritual World versus Physical, 12 Defining Characteristics. Consciousness is the 11th characteristic and is part of the transcendent group. The first state of consciousness is the layer of ordinary consciousness. It is the state that is the most familiar. Every day you wake up in it. Ordinary consciousness corresponds to the open area in the Johari Window. For you to be aware or to know information, you must be both physically awake and aware of your surroundings. Therefore, all four elements of your soul personality are involved in this process. For more background on the soul, refer to the video Plato's Soul Meets the Spirit's Wizard of Oz. The symbol for the ordinary conscious is the black and white checkered game board. It is inspired by Lewis Carroll's Alice Through the Looking Glass. In that book, a chess game is the background for the action and the characters. Used as a metaphor for transformation in life relationships, it is the forerunner for Eric Berne's ideas presented in games people play. Although ordinary consciousness is the first layer, it is also the smallest of all four realms. It is similar to the tip of an iceberg metaphor used by Sigmund Freud. However, the biggest and most fulfilling layers are unseen under the sea. The subconscious is the second layer of consciousness. The prefix sub is added to describe this stage as it is considered just below or under your ordinary consciousness. The subconscious is a state of not being fully aware, yet it influences your soul's emotions and behaviors. Freud called this area the preconscious. In his iceberg symbol, the subconscious lies just under the sea surface. This closeness to the iceberg's top makes it the easiest of the spiritual states to access. The subconscious is also similar to your blind spot in the Johari Window. You are blind to parts of your spirit's higher intellect, higher emotions, and free will, so they are unavailable to you in the state of ordinary consciousness. This is the first of three altered states of consciousness. It is where your spiritual adventure usually begins. The concept of existing in altered states of consciousness was contributed by psychologist William James. He identified being in the spiritual states as awake. This is in contrast to being asleep in the physical world of ordinary consciousness, and being asleep parallels to the blind quadrant and the Johari Window. Whether you are awake or asleep depends on how much information you have repressed and buried from your ordinary consciousness, such as selected memories, traits, limits, and abilities. The triangle as the symbol for the subconscious refers to the three elements of the immortal soul that move into the spirit world. These are the intellect, emotions, and will. The body does not make the move because it consists of physical energy. Again, for more information on the elements of your soul and spirit, refer to the video Plato's Soul Meets the Spirit's Wizard of Oz. And for details on the differences between spiritual and physical energies, see the spiritual world versus physical, 12 defining characteristics. The gray color reflects that life is not black and white as it appears in the physical world, but rather shades of gray. The third layer of consciousness is the unconscious. In psychology, this does not refer to being asleep or under anesthesia. The term was developed by Freud. It refers to a part of consciousness that ordinary consciousness is not aware of and is lower down in the iceberg than the subconscious. Unconscious relates to the hidden quadrant and the Johari window. In a similar way that your higher emotions covers up personal memories, free will must discover undeveloped parts of the self stored in collective, universal memories. The information hidden in this layer can be known by others in one of three ways. The most common method is to reveal it by accident. Your free will is something that must be grown like wings in the allegory of the chariot. To regrow your wings, you must go deep into your consciousness, very, very deep, like into a basement or a prison where it cannot grow. Philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche described in Thus Spoke Zarathustra that free will is like wild barking dogs held captive in the basement. They are struggling to be freed from the prison you hold them in. Once they are free, they change into birds and charming songstresses. The third way is to bring hidden things into the open by choosing to expose this information freely, without coercion or bribery. You do this as a result of transformation that is achieved through spiritual growth. In addition to free will being hidden deep within the unconscious, there are other elements concealed there as well. These are the missing pieces of your true self. Unlike the repressed parts of the subconscious, which can often be remembered or healed through awareness, the missing pieces in the unconscious are hidden, unseen, and just waiting to be found. To visualize this, the unconscious can be symbolized as a puzzle. Each missing piece represents a lost fragment of your spirit. As you uncover and integrate these pieces, you move closer to wholeness, self-discovery, and spiritual awakening. The fourth and final state is the superconscious. Like the unknown quadrant in the Johari window, it is a state not easily known by either you or others. It is a place where the three transcendentals of truth, beauty, and the good are located. This is what Plato referred to in the allegory of the chariot, when the charioteer glimpses the upper heavens. It is where mere mortals connect with the divine. The symbol for this much desired layer is the monad. Pythagoras referred to it as a circle with a dot at its center. Monad means a single unit or alone. The superconscious is both the center of your being and the entirety of yourself. It is the alpha and the omega. It is home. The interconnectedness of your true self, consciousness, and the Johari window is revealed in this big picture. The Johari window is more than a communication tool. It's a spiritual mirror of your soul and spirit. It illustrates how the elements of your personality soul engage with others in the open quadrant. It also shows how all four elements of your lower self are awake in the physical state of ordinary consciousness. In altered states of consciousness, your higher self is aware of spiritual things and exists in the spirit world. Here, your higher intellect and higher emotions are susceptible to being blind to what you say and do in the second quadrant of the Johari window. These elements reside in your subconscious. Because they're located just below ordinary consciousness, they are the easiest of the altered states to access. Next is how you protect your free will by hiding it in the third area of the Johari window. Free will is a treasure found in the unconscious state. Getting to it requires even more effort than growth in the subconscious. The highest and lowest state is the superconscious monad. It is like the unknown window in the Johari model. First, it requires persistence on your part, and second, the fortune of truth, wisdom, and goodness being revealed to you by higher beings. Once you receive this information, you can become like a body of light to share with others who are in darker, lower states of consciousness. On your journey of personal and spiritual growth, learn to see the unseen and free your will from the prison of fear and ignorance, and especially become the light that illuminates the way for others. If this video sparked insight for you, give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend who's exploring personal growth and consciousness too. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss future videos on self-discovery, emotional healing, and spiritual awakening. And we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below about your experience with self-awareness and which quadrant or consciousness state you're working on. Your insights could help others on their path of growth too.